Should you quit your job and follow your calling? I hear many motivational speakers screeching out loud, get out of that rat race, follow your calling, live your life, do things before you die. Sometimes you must be wondering whether you should quit your job or do something else, right? Of course, there are living examples of those who moved away from their mainstream and tried to do different things and they succeeded. Their achievement became example for others. Also, there are unsung heroes who failed in their ventures. Nobody talks about them. I'm going to solve your problem today, so you stay right there and watch till the end. Hello, viewers. Welcome to Sip and Talk with Vikram with a brand new feature called Lateral Learning. In this feature, I shall present to you some vital tips on certain business skills and life skills. What you have learned in your B schools is out there in the textbooks, but what I tell you here comes from my practical experience in various types of industries. I have over 3 decades of experience in various types of industries, of which 12 years is as CFO. I am MBA in finance and a black belt in Six Sigma. Also, I have authored some books on life skills and personal finance. All of them have hit number one bestseller rank on Amazon. So, cheers. So, back to the same question, should you quit your job or follow your calling? I'm going to help you decide on this right now. I'm going to tell you a story. So, stay tuned till the end and listen to this story. Once there was a wise monk who spent most of his time in meditation. He used to live in a very secluded, remote place through the dense jungles near a small stream of river. He would just sit there and meditate and talk to nobody. He hardly spoke to anyone. But his wisdom was so profound that even if he uttered a few words or a phrase, it carried such profound meaning. So people used to travel through the forest to find him, and they would get near him and ask him some questions about their life, for which they will get some answers which will help them in their lives. So whenever they ask a question, he would meditate deeply and then come up with an answer. Now his advice had helped so many people that the profundity of his advice has spread across distant places. So once a man felt that he had a lot of problems in his life. He was employed in a company where he felt that he did not have a very bright future ahead, and he was not happy with the present situation in which he was. So he decided to go and meet that monk. So he traveled through the thick and thin to find him. And he traveled through the jungles and he reached near a flowing stream. And somewhere in a corner, the monk was sitting on a rock and meditating. So finally, when he was about to reach there, he found another man also trying to find the monk. So they talked to each other and they both came to know each other's problems as well. And they were so similar that they decided that let us ask the question together. So they reached the spot where the monk was meditating. Now, without disturbing him, they sat down quietly and waited. So the monk briefly opened his eyes and he saw them sitting in front of him. So just with an expression of his face, he questioned them for the purpose of their coming all the way. Like maybe he did something like this. So they asked with folded hands, Master, we are employees in a company. We are at junior ranks. All those who are seniors to us extract too much work from us. They are ruthless, abusive, unkind, and they pay us very little salary. That it is so difficult to make our ends meet. Please guide us what we should do. Should we quit the job and do something else, or we stick on there? Please guide us. So the monk closed his eyes and meditated deeply. And when he opened his eyes, he uttered just four words. He said, just 2 square meals. And then he closed his eyes and slipped into meditation again. The two young men who had traveled all the way got such a short answer, and they knew that they had to make sense out of it. So they looked at each other, nodded, bowed to the monk, got up, and went. So while they were walking together in silence, still trying to figure out what those four words could mean, so one of them finally broke the silence and said, I think what the master meant was that this job is worth just 2 square meals. I should quit this job right away and do something so that it gets me anything more than that. What do you say? He asked the other one. The other guy was thinking pensively and he said, yes, this job is the only source of my livelihood. Without it, I cannot even get 2 square meals. So once they get back to their places, the first guy resigned his job. He went to some nearby tourist spot. He stood there as a tour guide. Whichever tourist came around there, he used to offer his services, show them around, gain their satisfaction, and the tourist used to give them some handsome tips. So with these tips alone, he was earning more than what he got in his job. And he was so confident that he took the right path. The master had told this job was just worth 2 square meals. So slowly he earned some money, he saved some money, and he started another side business like ticketing business. So he started ticketing for the tourists to go to nearby places. And he even bought a taxi to take the tourists around. So with all this, he was earning handsomely. And like this, years went by, he became a tour operator and he was more than just satisfied with his achievement in life. He followed his calling. He had quit his job. And he was proud that he did that. Now, the other guy, when he went back to his job, he sort of realized how important, how valuable that job is to him. He stayed there and worked harder. And on his merits, he could impress his seniors and employers in that company. So he got promotions, increments, and he rose to the level of manager. Now there were people working under him, and he wasn't as miserable as before. He was earning a good salary, he got an accommodation and a car. So all his hard work in life has paid off. And he was also thinking about that monk, what he said, just 2 square meals. Means we should know the importance of 2 square meals and how hard it is to earn. So then one day, by chance, both of these young men met again. Maybe the second guy went on a tour and he got this tour operator over there. They recognized each other and they were so happy and excited to share their past 10 years of life. They had both improved in their life. So the first guy asked, why didn't you quit your job? Look at me. I quit my job. I followed my calling. I've become a master of my own destiny. I don't report to anyone. I take my own decisions. Remember what the master said? Just 2 square meals. That's what that job was worth. That's what it could give me. Now I've got such a comfortable life. So the second guy said, yes. Those 4 words awakened me in life. I realized how important that job was for my livelihood. Earlier, I worked with resentment. I made mistakes. I was admonished by my seniors. When I realized the importance of the job in my life, I got serious about it. I worked harder. I obeyed my seniors and tried to give my best to it. Now, when my employers noticed that change in my behavior, they encouraged me. They gave me increments and promotions. Now I've become a manager. I've been given an accommodation and a car as well. Now they both pondered how they have construed different meanings for the same 4 words spoken by the master, and yet they both prospered. Now they were curious to know what exactly could the master have meant when he said those 4 words. Did he actually mean quit the job, or did he mean don't quit the job? So they decided, let's go back to the master and ask him again. So these two friends by destiny took a walk together again to the same spot to meet the master. They walked through the jungles, they followed the stream, and this time their journey was faster and merrier because they were talking all the way. So they reached that place around sunset when the master was sitting in a cave by an oil lamp. He was probably reading some scriptures. So they bowed to him and they reminded him that 10 years ago they had come there to meet him. They narrated their pains to him and he had given them a solution as just 2 square meals. So they wanted to know what could he have actually meant by that? Quit the job or not? So they put a question to the master. Now the master closed his eyes and went into a deep meditation once again. And when he opened his eyes, he just spoke 4 words again. He said, your perception matters most. Okay, now this was pretty clear. So they looked at each other and nodded, bowed to the master, and took their path to return. They walked in silence. They were thinking. Yes, they were thinking that although they got the same advice, their perception mattered the most. One person perceived that he should quit the job and do something on his own, which he was probably better at, and the other guy thought he was good at what he's doing and he should continue what he's doing. Only thing is, he needs more commitment and more dedication towards what he was doing. So they had to put in more efforts in whatever they are doing. Yes, my dear friends, that is life. Your experiences shape your perceptions. Do what you are good at. Whether this thing or that thing, nothing is inferior, nothing is better. But whatever you do, remember, you have to put in your 100% to it. Nothing comes to you easy. So do what enthusiasms you. Do what excites you into action. You see, when you went to engineering college and you spent some 5 or 6 years in your engineering, or you went for medical, you spent 10 years studying medicine, or you went for MBA or chartered accountancy, again, you have spent so many years in studying that. Of course, you did that because those subjects were exciting for you. You loved them, you wanted to go deeper into that, right? That is why you chose that path. So, why, after all these years, you have that self doubt whether you are doing the right thing? Even so, take it a point that okay, there was a mistake in your career selection, but now what to do? Okay, you can still change. Life is all about changes, and nothing is more constant than change. But when you change, you remember the next activity that you are going to put yourself into is not going to be easier than the previous. Because if you are looking for an easier comfort zone, then it is not for you. Wherever you go, whatever you put your mind into, there has to be a commitment, there has to be 100% effort behind it. Only then success can be yours. So here it is, my dear viewers. What is your perception? What did you learn from this story? Would you advise to quit job or not? I want to know from you right now. So please type in your response in the main comment box below. Do post in your comments. If you did not like it, tell me. If you like it, then please share this story with others and amplify it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon and stay notified. See you again. Thank you for watching. Namaste.